Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for this Monday, August 8th. Taking a look at our fire potential impacts, our main concern will be gusty west-southwest winds as high as 30 miles per hour, and it'll be shifting to the northwest across parts of Idaho and Utah tomorrow. And the big concern will be holdovers with these winds from the previous lightning. So without any further ado, let's look at that on the right-hand side. Here's lightning over the past 24 hours confined up into parts of the mountainous areas of Idaho, and especially over southeastern Idaho into Wyoming, just carpet-bombed with lightning. On the right-hand side, you can see that there was precipitation, those darker blues and greens over eastern Idaho and into Wyoming. The green indicates over an inch of rain. The darker blue is about a quarter to a half inch. Lighter amounts over Idaho further north. If we look at the past 72 hours, we can see a significant coverage of lightning all across a large portion of Idaho into western Wyoming and into parts of Nevada and Utah as well. So again, the big concern will be us drying out and how much new fire starts we will see. So looking at new fire starts in the last 24 hours in the red circles, quite a bit in the mountains just north of Boise and also up into parts of eastern Idaho and into parts of western Wyoming and Utah as well. One more of a human start here on the Sierra front, so we will be very concerned about new starts in those areas that we saw recent lightning. Precipitation observed the past 7 days on the left. Before the precipitation yesterday, it was fairly dry for quite a while across parts of Idaho and Nevada. Monsoonal activity did pick up across parts of southern Utah and the Arizona Strip and far southeast Nevada. On the right-hand side, past 14 days, same thing. They were dry there. So that lightning, even though it produced rain, was coming on the heels of some very dry conditions. And we looked at ERCs, even with the rain, still the red to dark red shades are 80th to as high as the 96th percentile. The purple are near record level fuels, 97th percentile. Driest now in places that have not received any thunderstorm or high humidity. That's across parts of western Nevada. We've moistened up quite a bit across the southern half and eastern portion of Utah with the recent rain activity. Looking at the latest satellite imagery with upper level maps superimposed, we see a unseasonably deep low pressure system over Washington state, providing a moderately strong southwest wind gradient. There's also some moisture rotating around this system, and we'll be watching some of this moisture probably moving into the northern half of Idaho. How far south it'll go over areas that were recently affected by lightning will be the big question, but with the tightness of these height lines, we do expect to see an increase in wind over the next 48 hours. You see the monsoonal activity, as typical with southwest winds, it breaks up the monsoon and keeps it suppressed well to the south. So getting right into it for later this afternoon, on the left-hand side is the upper level map. We can see deep low pressure with lots of moisture given by the dark green across parts of the Pacific Northwest, drier air punching in that southwest flow across Nevada into parts of southern Utah, and some strips of drier air pushing into our eastern areas. We should see drier conditions. On the right-hand side are significant fire potential. These winds will be just off to our east across Wyoming. Very moist over southern areas. And then weather conditions for this afternoon. On the left-hand side, you can see single-digit humidity across much of Nevada returns. Humidity into the mid to upper teens across Idaho, which will be the driest they've been in about 3 days. Quite moist across eastern Utah, so holdover potential probably best across southern and eastern portions of Idaho at the present time. Notice winds picking up across parts of Nevada along the Utah border. Those purplish shades to orange are anywhere from 25 to 35 miles per hour. And up here as well in Idaho, some gusts in the upper 20s as well. Now for Tuesday, we see the trough of low pressure kind of moving eastwards and covering the northern half of Idaho with clouds and precipitation, drier to the south, and with that tightening height formation, that's what we're concerned about with the winds increasing for tomorrow, especially on the heels of the very recent lightning outbreak. We look at that and you can see those winds up here on the right hand side in those orange to purplish shades, anywhere from 25 to 35 mile-an-hour gusts. At the same time, humidity will be down into the teens, so with at least 8,000 or 9,000 lightning strikes over Idaho and into western Wyoming. Holdover is a significant concern. Lighter winds across parts of Nevada, despite being very dry with single-digit humidity. Then as we go further down the road into Wednesday, we see a trough of low pressure starts lifting on out, and there's still that southwest flow through here. The monsoon may start pushing up into eastern Utah. We'll have to watch that a little bit. There could be some precipitation sneaking on up through there. Weather conditions, you can see that higher humidity in those greenish shades starting to sneak into southern and eastern portions of Utah. However, still dry with humidity in the teens across much of Idaho, except northern areas probably much more moist, and still single-digit humidity here across Nevada. Winds overall starting to die down quite a bit across most areas except for southern Nevada. Now, if we look at precipitation over the next 3 days, you can see maybe the second shade of green, about 1/10 to 1/4 inch pushing on up, maybe a little bit more across the Arizona Strip, and also still some precipitation brushing our northern areas up in the mountains of central Idaho, but most of the significant precipitation stays further north. Further down the road, Thursday, drier air pushing as high pressure builds along the Pacific coast. Our PSAs start drying out. We go into Friday and into Saturday, and we see that high pressure starts to develop an arc through here. Drier air now across all areas, so whatever fires we get from any holdovers, conditions should be quite dry, although winds will be fairly light. But if they're in heavy fuels, there could be some significant issues. And into Sunday, a dry trough of low pressure, weak one, forms up, increasing the southwest winds, but not bringing any significant moisture. So we could see some winds coming in along with these drying conditions. Most of this precipitation on the 7-day total occurs in the first 2 or 3 days, so we're not too concerned about precipitation beyond maybe midweek. And then the 8 to 14-day outlook, which takes us all the way from the 15th to the 21st of August. Cooler than normal signal over the Pacific Northwest and the northern Rockies means low pressure, means west-southwest winds. But further down you go, the more it gets above normal. But this below normal precipitation signal could be signaling an end to the monsoon for much of our area as that activity shifts well to the south and to the east. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.